Higa, kutokana na kile ambacho alisema afisa mkuu mtendaji wa TSC Nancy Macharia kuhusiana na kuwa kuna wale watoto ambao wataonekana kuwa wamedhulumiwa kutokana na zile mimba watapata, lakini kuna kikundi kingine ambacho kinasahaulika. Thuo, simama tafadhali.
Asante sana. My name is Thuo from Samastea, and my question goes to FIDA. I think we also have the other side, the boys. They are facing a double tragedy. One of them is that they are also being sexually molested, and very few of those cases go unnoticed and unreported. And I think the TSC secretary, Dr. Nancy said that. The other thing is that some of these boys are also involved in sexually molesting and impregnating these girls. So what is happening around that space from your end? Thank you.
When you look at the Sexual Offences Act, it provides for both men and women now, boys and girls. So sodomy is defilement of a child. There's penetration. So in that case, they will be prosecuted just like any other girl any other case where a girl was defiled. The issue we have is that most boys don't know who to report to. We have not educated our boys to know that actually when somebody does that to you, it's wrong and where to report. Do they even have a trusted person where they will not feel ashamed or stigmatized that actually this happened to me? I think it's taking it up as a society and letting our boys know the society has changed. These things might happen to you. This is what to do. This is where to report. When we come to children defiling other children, we say the act provides that in that case they will be taken as perpetrators. They will be taken to court through the same system. The only difference is how they are sentenced, because we have special sentencing for children under the 18 years. They are not sentenced as adults. So that is the difference.
How much harder, briefly, and I know Mashirima has another question, do you think it is for a boy to report that they have been sexually abused? Do you have any data or anything just to let you know if the challenges are in any way greater?
I think looking even at the statistics of the matter of sodomies that we have in court, or what comes to FIDA, there are very few, and maybe it's just because of that reporting process that they do not know how to report. They are stigmatized.
Believability issues.
Believability issues as well. And sometimes when they report, it is too late. All the evidence has gone. As we know, when a child is sodomized, it heals quite fast. So in that case, by the time they are coming, maybe 6 months over, a year over, we can barely tell that it happened. So the evidence is lost.
Tough topic to discuss, but a very real reality at this time. Mashirima, let's pick one or two more questions.
So nyingine hapa kutoka kwa mzazi. Richard, tafadhali simama. Nitakushikia. Simama tu.
Kwa majina ni Richard Nyaminga, Samastea. Nilikuwa nauliza kama sasa mzazi, maybe ukiwa watoto wako nyumbani, umepata mtoto ameshika, akona mzazi mwingine ambao ameshikana kama marafiki, yule mzazi anamnunulia mandazi. Wewe mzazi ukimkuta, ukimuuliza, anaanza kukurudishia, pengine unasikia na unakuwa na hasira, unamchapaka makofi. Baadaye anakimbia kwa polisi, anaenda na kuripoti. Baadaye achukuliwa hatua, wewe mwenyewe ndio unashikwa, unapelekwa polisi, unasema kwa nini ulifanya hivyo? Sasa nitafanyaje ndio ni protect msichana wangu wa shule?
How do you protect the parent?
Here tackle that.
Okay.
From a legal perspective, what options would such a parent have?
The parent still has options of reporting first what the other parent was doing. Even if you have been reported at the police station, it doesn't mean you cannot report the crime that led to it or your reasons for leading to it. We also have children's officers within our system who we are able to use and utilize for the protection of children. And that also speaks to the parents who compromise the cases of their own children who have been sexually abused. Those are parents who need to be charged with neglect because they are using their children as tools of trade and as a way of enriching themselves. So they are actually parents who should be taken away and dealt with by the law for neglect, and the children then taken up by the government as children in need of care and protection.
What's the penalty for neglect?
Sometimes it's the discretion of the court, but depending on what you have done, but mostly 1 year to 3 years maximum.
1 year to 3 years. Is that enough? Well, we'll just leave it at that. Mashirima, any final questions?
Kuna swali lingine hapa ambalo mara kwa mara masuala ya ngono ikiwa yanazungumziwa huwa linaleta utata, lakini ni swali ambalo lazima liulizwe. Alice.
Kwa majina naitwa Alicent Oyamo. Swali langu linaenda kwa Fida. Ni kwa miaka ngapi inafaa mtoto msichana awe anatumia pills, contraceptive pills for pregnancy? Na je, inafaa wapewe kabla miaka haijatimia apewe? Na ni harassment kwa mtoto kupewa hiyo pills sababu miaka yake haijafaa hapewe?
Tukiangalia katika Fida tunaangalia sheria na tunatii sheria. Sheria kwa sasa inasema mtoto ambaye ako chini ya mtu yoyote ambaye ako chini ya umri wa miaka 18 hafai kuengage na ile sex. Kwa hivyo ukimpatia ile pills ni kama unamuencourage, unamprepare. You are part of you are helping in that crime. Kwa hivyo kwa sasa una activate. Okay. Yes, aggravating the problem. So kwa sasa sheria yetu inasema watoto wasipatiwe zile pills. Lakini ukiangalia katika hii community yetu sasa watoto wenyewe kwa wenyewe wana engage. Na lazima kama community tuulizane tutafanya nini ndio tulinde hawa watoto wetu.
Okay, I want to see if Dr. Makanda also just wants to weigh in on that, which you had touched on briefly in your opening statement.
I think one is that we must think about how do we delay the event of sex amongst children, so that then it comes later in life when they are older, more than 18 years, when they can be able to consent to it. And that's a critical question that parents must ask, teachers must contribute to it, and the entire community must contribute to it. The legal fraternity must be able to help us appreciate Section 15 of Children's Act that protects children from sexual abuse and exposure to any explicit material, because it's a criminal thing and it's proscribed in Section 15 of Children's Act. So thinking about giving contraceptives to children, what has happened is that because of westernization and because of pharmaceuticals, as it were, because trying to seek an entry and distribute more and have higher sales, the issue of contraceptives is becoming a currency. It's taking currency within our society much more, but it is more out of commercial interests. And so we are not asking the critical questions so that we begin to resolve our problems. Allow me to propose, Wahiga, that these teachers who are here, Nat and Kupet, the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, with publishers, have designed a curriculum for life skills for our children. That curriculum has never been implemented. Books have been published, but these teachers prefer to teach mathematics, English, Kiswahili, and chemistry, and what have you. And
core subjects.
Yes. The subjects that are examinable, so that then they have left out a very critical aspect of our of learning that will help information of our children, so that the question that mother is asking is never asked. Then the children are told, these are the consequences. If you begin to engage in sex, these are the consequences. And you will meet with those consequences. But this is how you can deal with that challenge. Okay. And so we want to urge teachers, we want to urge TSC, we want to urge the ministry, please implement life skills, because that curriculum is available, textbooks are available, and it's never implemented. Yeah.
Okay, that's a fair point to bring up. We have another question.
Swali la mwisho sasa, hebu nipatie mwanadada aweze kupata nafasi. Simama kidogo, tuambie jina lako na swali lako ni lipi.
Kwa majina naitwa Susan Wanjiko. Swali langu naenda kwa wazazi. Unapata young teenagers na young youth wanafukuzwa shuleni, wanaenda nyumbani wanakaa, wazazi wachukue jukumu lao kama mzazi kumrudisha mtoto shuleni. Hapo anapata na peer pressure na wenzake akiwa nyumbani, inamzidi hadi anatumia dawa. Hapo anafanya unprotected sex, anakuwa na early pregnancy. So ningependa wazazi wa play role yao kama wazazi kufanya jukumu lao ya kurudisha watoto shuleni.
Na mnadhani hiyo ilikuwa ni kauli ya mwisho na sio swali.
Final comment, Bwana Mayo, anything you want to say to that? Briefly. And I'll take that as your final comment.
So, first, my final comment is we want Parliament to enact a law that caps explicit content like pornography and the use of social media.
Because you feel the laws we have are not enough.
Because, they're not enough, and it has contributed immensely on the teenage pregnancy. Number two, I will concur with that lady by saying that we need to empower our parents on their roles, especially when they have their children at home. When schools are closed over the holiday, they should monitor their movement.
Okay.
They should know where their children are going to avoid space, because young people, when they have some space, they'll have what we call peer pressure, and it will affect them.
Okay.
By the time they're going to school, they are pregnant.
Okay, I'll take that as your last comment. Bwana Munga, final comment also, please.
Yes, I just want to bring to our attention that there is something in the Ministry of Education called quality standards and assurance and standards. Ministry of Education has also a role, and in fact they need to be invited to such forums.
Speak closer to the mic, please.
Because they have a big role in ensuring the safety of learners, the security of learners, and even teachers in those schools. And one of the things that I noticed, thank you very much, and one of the things that I need to bring to our attention also is an incident which happened in a school right here in Nairobi, where teachers, an incident happened in a school, a girls' school at night, and teachers were blamed. In fact, my brother Kelo Misori and his union were able even to do a research, and it was discovered the government and the ministry forced teachers to undergo something called DNA to prove that teachers were innocent. That kind of procedure demoralized teachers. It made teachers feel very sad and very bad, because teachers were suspected even before they did it. Actually, in most cases, and I want to make this as my last comment,
please.
Teachers have become are guilty even before they are found guilty. They are declared guilty by the society, they are declared guilty by the Ministry of Education, and even by the media, and even people like Mayo and the Kenya National Parents Association.
Okay.
We want to say this as teachers. We are professionals. We know what we are doing in schools. We also need protection from parents, from the ministry, and from the Teacher Service Commission, and from pastors and from parents. If not, they don't give us that kind of protection. We as teachers also know what to do. We will teach and go back home early.
Thank you. Bwana Akelo, you had been referencing that. I can give you a chance to give a brief final comment, please.
It is very, very important to say that we take all our time to agitate for better terms and conditions of service, not for those people who want to spoil the name of the profession. That is one. But secondly, I want to say that we as teachers are also equally parents. Like me, the only known children that people know, I'm a father of a girl. And in that house of ours, I'm subdued because of the number of females in my house. That is the person that I need to protect. And therefore, it would be an overstatement to say that teachers just go out of the way to do all this that we are accused of. We must say that the society must take responsibility of what is taking place. But this debate needs to be taken beyond what we are discussing in the media, so that policy formulators must be actively involved in ensuring that at least we have the concept of sexuality being discussed as a normal topic, not behind the scenes where we leave the students or our children to be socialized by television and the technology.
Okay.
This aspect is very critical, and we have to do it. But we must say, as Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers,
yes, and
we will never condone sex pests, and we will never protect such behavior among the ranks of teachers. But sickness of this nature must be addressed by the society and the policy.
Okay, thank you. Beatrice, I'll give you your last word now.
So many circulars from TSC later, so many court cases later, I wish to reiterate that the duty of care that the teacher has is a standard much higher than that of other people in the society. Like Caesar's wife, they must be beyond reproach. And that includes taking care of the support staff who are in the schools, because sometimes it is not the teachers who are the perpetrators, but the support staff are still perpetrators and are under the duty of the teachers, are under the supervision of the teachers. So the teacher's work does not end at teaching and going home.
Okay.
Secondly, and finally, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. All these teachers who have been mentioned in this report, are they behind bars? Are they behind bars? That's where they belong. Can the ODPP put them there?
Okay. Dr. Makande.
I think, allow me to say that I think let's encourage this type of discussion because then it helps us know what people are thinking, but also propose solutions. Allow me to say that we need to entrench chaplaincy in our schools because it will help support the teachers who are overburdened by responsibilities to socialize children and to support in their formation, especially in their spiritual and moral formation. And why I talk about chaplaincy, it's because when children or when individuals are put in a religious group and they are trained, there are 4 things that happen. Is that they begin to learn group behavior. And so there's something that happens when you are within a group that has norms. And so it's important that then chaplaincy will support that type of a thing. But the second thing that happens, that then they begin to be sensitive to morality because a group puts standards that people will begin to emulate. And morality is a critical factor around religious groups, be it Christianity or Islamic faith. Morality becomes important. But number 3 is that then they begin to have respect to higher authority than just the teacher, than the parents, and than themselves, because they know that there is a God who I bear allegiance to, even in my private life. And that will encourage and motivate their behavior when they are not being seen by anybody else. They will be able to withstand somebody who puts pressure on them and wants to induce them and say, no, I cannot do it. But finally, it enforces obedience. Faith enforces obedience.
Okay.
People begin to respect the law, they begin to respect order, they begin to respect what is right. And so we want to encourage that the ministry, they have been working on a chaplaincy curriculum and policy framework, that it is concluded and implemented.
Can that framework also have an aspect of teaching young people to be able to speak out? Because that's the last thing I was waiting to hear from you.
I think so, yes. I mean, the life skills curriculum actually has all it takes to teach children to be assertive.
To be assertive.
To be assertive. Skills of how to say no and how to be able to represent your issues without being criminalized. Okay. And so I think let's just implement that curriculum, the life skill curriculum that is lying at KICD.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Miriam, you have the last word.
Yes. I think I want first to say that if your child is abused, it doesn't matter by who in the society, please report. Negotiating at home is a crime by itself. So do not negotiate with perpetrators, with defilers at home. Go ahead and report the matter. If the police is not supportive with a report, look for the other person who is next. Go to IPOA, go to the next level. I think sometimes as parents or guardians, we give up so fast. Could we take the next level? Could you look for who else to support you? Could you come to FIDA? There are so many other organizations that can support you. And finally to say, please let's respect our women and maintain their dignity.
Okay, thank you. Mashirima, sijui kama uko na
Kauli yangu ya mwisho tu itakuwa kuhusiana na hata tukiwa tunazungumzia kuhusiana na masuala ya sera na jinsi ya kuzuia masuala haya kutokea. Kuna wale ambao tayari maji yashamwagika, hayawezi kuzoleka. Kwa hivyo kuna masuala mengine ambayo yanapaswa kufunzwa kwa walimu kuhakikisha kuwa wanaweza kuwajumuisha tena hawa watoto baada ya kwenda kujifungua, wakirejea shuleni wanawakaribisha kwa njia gani? Wanahakikisha vipi kuwa hawa watoto hawatakuwa na haya kiasi cha kuwa hawataki kurejea shuleni? Waihiga.
Asante sana Mashirima. Let me read 2 quick tweets as we wrap up the broadcast. And of course, thank you to our audience who've enabled us to engage on this discussion and our panel as well. Asante sana.